Much like Paul, first thing I want to do is introduce and recognize our staff. So over here we got Associate Head Coach John Motherwell, Assistant Coach Juan Young, Assistant Coach Adam Marceau, and these three have been with us for, well, before I was even sent in this position, so, well, besides Juan, I guess, but for a while. And then new to our staff is Alex Cladis. Yes. He's our Director of Operations. And so this has been a phenomenal group to work with. I love our coaching staff, and much like what Coach Sather said, just put in a ton of work, and it got us to the point where we're at now. So we have a wonderful team, and we'll talk about our team here in a minute. But these guys deserve much of the credit for the players that we have on our roster at this point, and for a lot of the hard work we have been putting in the preseason here. Also, I have all our captains sitting over here. So we just recently named our captains, Claire Orth, Jolie Daniger, Casey Barovich, and Juliet Gordon. Another great group of leaders. And between our coaching staff, our captains, and other players that even aren't named captains, we have an unbelievable core of leaders in our program right now. And that's always important. I would say this year maybe more so than most, given that there may be a point in time where I'm away for, let's call it a week. I'm very optimistic. But we have the people in place that I think can really keep things going at a high level. Again, our coaches are someone that have taken a lot of ownership and things in this preseason through the beginning of practices. And I've loved to see what our captains, and again, you can throw a Samaya Hoskin, a DJ Davis, and Maggie Manson kind of in that group as players that have come back from several years. And we see it every day in practice. You know, something's going on, we blow a whistle. Coaches don't have to say a word because they're the first ones jumping on things. And so our leadership group is phenomenal, and that's something I'm really excited about with this team. For our roster, we have 9 returners and 6 newcomers. So a pretty decent core of players that are coming back to us. I think when you look at last season, one of our biggest questions was how are we going to handle the point guard position? I feel as though we figured it out last year. We addressed it decently well, and Casey obviously took a lot of that for us to start the year. She's probably not traditionally a point guard, but when she has the ball in her hands, good things happen, and so we kept with it all year long. But I look at a DJ Davis and a Jolie Daniger as players that really improved throughout the course of the season and did some really nice things and have made, again, huge strides in this off season. Freshman for us, kind of in that same position, would be Michaela Ammer, someone that, again, even a freshman, I would consider her a great leader, especially when you look within like her freshman class, has done an awesome job, and not someone we necessarily brought in to be a point guard, but having been put in that situation in practice from time to time has really looked nice. So if last year our position that we were in question was our point guard, I think this year it's probably more inside for us in that center position because quite frankly we have 0 minutes of college experience inside. Our posts, the only people I would consider true back to the basket centers on our roster are Miranda and Darcy. 0 minutes of college basketball. So not a whole lot there. Now, I will say they're working hard. We're making sure they find that weight room as frequently as possible, and they're working on the skill stuff, but you're going to see some players in there that maybe traditionally wouldn't be in there. You know, and I look at a Nakaya Hurst, freshman for us, who she's not a center, but she's going to probably play some center position. Juliet Gordon, not a center, probably going to defend some centers. Samaya Hoskin, not a center, probably going to defend some centers. So we're just going to have to make things happen inside when we talk about the defensive side of things. And again, we have the size when it comes to Miranda and Darcy, but 0 minutes. So we will continue to work on those things, and again, they will progress throughout the year. There's also the players that I think everyone's known for quite a while from us, okay? So Maggie Manson, Claire Orth, I talked a little bit about Juliet. Juliet back healthy, which is phenomenal. Knock on wood, we'll keep it there. Again, players that have been around the program for several years, and you've seen play a variety of different roles, Claire and Oz especially. So I think we know what we're getting from them. We know we're getting the productivity from them that we've come to expect. Players that I think have made huge jumps kind of in that guard position, though, this last year. I look at Samaya Hoskin has just vastly improved from a year ago. Someone that I see getting a ton of minutes for us this year and stepping up in some of those roles that we're asking of her, whether it's defending a 3 through a 5, whatever it might be. And she's willing to do so, which is awesome. You got to have players that are willing to do that. And then Mac, Allie McCarthy, so another player that I think has shown us a little bit of what she's capable of doing. New to the roster, again, I kind of talked about Darcy as a post player inside, someone that we're still working really to develop and get some things done inside for us, but I think everyone remembers our signing class. Again, give credit to our coaching staff for that, but you talk about Rakaya Beal and Nakaya Hurst as two players that came in pretty heavily touted as far as ESPN rankings and all of that. And I think through the beginning parts of this season, they've really proven at times why they got those rankings. Rakaya Beal, incredibly athletic, can do some things that not a lot of players can do, and I can tell you Nakaya Hurst, there's times when I'd be terrified to be on the floor trying to defend that kid. And so both of them are really going to do some things for us. I see Nakaya really stepping up big for us early, but players that, especially at a young age, will probably get themselves quite a bit of minutes. And then Tara Benevich is our one grad transfer, comes in and has set record after record when it comes to shooting, and I think that's something that we could always use a little bit of help with. And so we'll lean on Tara for a little bit of that as well. So I think I hit most of our roster. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. But we feel as though we have a pretty deep team this year. And so we'll play a lot of players. You know, last year, again, we kind of leaned on some players to play the 35, 38 minutes a game, and really leaned on probably 3 or 4 of them to do that. This year, hopefully we'll get it a little bit more spread out, which hopefully works for our longevity, and we don't end up out like we did last year with a tough run down the stretch. As for our schedule, we opened with 2 D1 home games for the first time, I think, since Coach Roebuck was standing up here. So a long time ago. So we're incredibly excited about that, and we're definitely testing ourselves early. We're going to start with, again, Detroit and Wyoming here at home. Wyoming, a team that finished 4th in their league, which is a tough league. Talk about a little bit of the Big Sky days of old. We'll go out to Montana State, go out to Montana, 2 teams that are always picked in the top part of that league as well. We'll have Weber State coming back at some point. And then Grand Canyon as well, another team that's been incredibly successful in the WAC. So we're definitely testing ourselves early, putting ourselves in some good situations to really see what we're going to do. And I think this team is hungry. I really do. I think this team is incredibly hungry. We're coming off our highest finish since joining the Summit League. 5th place, not exactly something that we're patting ourselves on the back with and clapping too hard about, but it is the highest we've ever finished in this league, and I think our ambitions are to finish much higher. And I think we have a lot of goals, and this team talks about them consistently, that we want to do more than just be mediocre. I don't think mediocrity is the goal for this program, and so we're working every single day, and not to steal Bubba's line of day by day, but we're taking it day by day, and we got to stack the good days and get better and better every single day. And I do see that our team has done that. And they're an awesome group. They're fun to coach, and I hope that we get a lot of fans out here watching them, because I'm telling you, it's going to be a fun brand of basketball to watch, and they're a great group that really I'd love to see the Betty Pack to watch. Thank you.